What's up?
Then just chilling.
So where are we?
We're in WKRP in Cincinnati. Cincinnati. Well, actually, we're in Kentucky right now.
Yeah, we're in Kentucky. Just come out of Taylor Mill, Covington area, doing a couple drops. Now we're going up to Xenia. Well, it's been like a month.
But no backhaul, so we're good today.
No backhaul today. Get done in Xenia. We'll jam over to Dayton, hit the 70, back to Indianapolis, grab 74, back Champaign, be done for the day. A little bit over 600 miles for the day.
6:05 according to the sheet.
What the hell are you beeping at? What? So yeah, we're gonna cross the river here in a sec. See the bridge coming up.
There's downtown Cincinnati.
Beautiful downtown Cincy.
I always like coming through here. We were coming through here just about every single day when we were doing that auto parts, huh?
Yep. Yeah, we come down 75.
Yep.
Out of Dayton from Troy. Yeah, there you go though. Cincinnati. Butte. We're gonna take 71 north, going towards Columbus. Of course, I'm gonna get over. Cars are all speeding up on me, you know. Of course, the best thing you do is just put on your signal, dive right in, listen to the truck beep. Oh! Shut up. I mean, I know there are warning devices, but they're more like annoying devices, you know.
Yeah, especially in traffic.
Puts a pickle right up my keister.
I just wonder how people get down on these things to paint them. You know, do they jump down above?
What?
The tagging on the underneath of the bridges. Like,
Yeah, they must crawl out and over on it. Which, okay, so all these taggers, they crawl out on these overpasses, that was your legacy if you fall to your death.
I know, right?
I had to go out there and scribble a bunch of jargon on a billboard. That's what was really important in my life. I go, you know what? You kind of deserve to fall.
Yeah, but it's like you'll see them like, you know, on top of this here. It's like, how in the world do they do that? Over traffic and everything. It's like crazy.
Well, typically it's the middle of the night when they do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is just funny that,
Yeah, you see it sometimes in the oddest spots.
yeah, just crazy bridges and overpasses, just
Yeah.
tons of graffiti, and it's like, in order for somebody to go out there, how risky did that have to be?
Oh, yeah.
Good times.
So what would you tell your 23-year-old self about trucking?
Oh, yeah. We were talking about I brought it up in the video we just posted too, you know, reflecting on if you had trucking to do over again, because I've been driving for 23 years now, done a bunch of stuff, life experience, being 47 now. If I could go back and tell myself at the beginning of driving truck what to do, what would it be? So that way, you know, kind of a do as I say, not as I do thing for, say, younger guys or girls, mostly guys getting into trucking, we all know that, but what would I go back and tell my younger self if I had trucking to do over again, or would I have done trucking at all? Because I was actually cooking in restaurants. I got into culinary school and I was a chef by trade. If you want to call it chef, I mean, I was just cooking in restaurants. But after I got into culinary school, and
everyone starts somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, you start somewhere. But I saw at the time too, I saw trucking as a thing that I always liked, driving and traveling and stuff, and working in restaurants back in the, all the way through the 90s. Back in the day, it didn't pay. It still doesn't pay necessarily, but yeah, becoming a chef is,
Ramsay or something.
Yeah, that being a chef now is much better off than it used to be 25 years ago. 25 years ago, it was actually, the funny switch on things is, being a chef back then, say chain restaurants or whatever, your kitchen manager or something like that, a lot of times though, it was low pay. Like you might get $30,000 a year, $35,000 a year, maybe. And then a lot of times too, you weren't offered benefits at a lot of these restaurants or anything. It was just, you know, and I remember at the time I was like, man, I got to find something to get into that I could have benefits and maybe more pay. And flip the script that 25 years later, from working in restaurants to now, it seems like restaurant jobs are actually doing better now than a lot of trucking jobs. So, you know, hindsight, it's like, oh, that was great.
That was worth it.
So anyway, I digress.
Aww,
she hates that word. I'll put on my Michoacan hat and say I digress all day long. Wouldn't that be hot? So anyway, if I could go back and tell myself at, say, 23 years old, when I was really contemplating going to trucking school and I was starting to check it out, even, because I did develop a plan initially that I was going to go out and do, because I was at 23, 24, I was single. I'd only been in a couple of dating relationships up to that point. I was pretty much free as the wind blows. I had no debt. Like I said, I got into culinary school. I was just working in restaurants. I had a couple of roommates, and I was single. I had a paid off car. I had no credit. I lived just check to check from my restaurant job, and that was it. So from that point, what should I have done? So going into trucking though, if I was going to do trucking over again, what would I do? All right. And this goes, I mean, all the 23-year-old guys out there, whatever, if you're in your 20s right now, looking back, being 47 now, you have no idea how much of an advantage you have time-wise right now in your pocket. That if I had to go back to 24 right now, I just got my CDL and I'm just starting truck driving. You know, went to trucking school, and when I got my CDL, what did I have as far as options at the time? Pretty much the same as it goes on today. You got the big companies that come in, Swift, Werner. I remember May Trucking, Sherman Brothers Trucking, because I went to Western Truck School in Sacramento, California. So all the Western trucking companies came in there too. There are a few other ones too, but I think maybe Schneider at the time. But I ended up going with Werner, and I went to orientation with Werner down in Phoenix, but they didn't have any trainers available. So then I came back home to Sacramento to wait it out. but they were just like, oh, we got no trainers, and like a month went by with no trainers. And I was like, dude, I gotta find another job, this is lame. So I called May Trucking because they were a Oregon carrier. I was trying to avoid going to a place like Swift. Even back then, people ragged on Swift. So I went to May Trucking. I had training for about 7 days. They threw me the keys and said, okay, go truck. And at that point though, I had a plan, a 5-year plan. I didn't even know what a 5-year plan was. I didn't, you know, back in 97, 98, when I first started, there was no internet. You know, like, I didn't have a computer. There's no cell phones or anything like that. That I just had an idea to do a 5-year plan. This wasn't something I knew was a common thing. Like, a 5-year plan was a popular thing, you know. But I gave 5 years, have no overhead, just stay in the truck, get out of the place I had my roommates with, run on the road, save all my money, and that was it. So I would have been not even 30 years old, been on the road for 5 years, and my idea was after 5 years, maybe I'd save up about $200,000, no debt, and I'd go open up my own restaurant. Because working in restaurants is what I actually enjoy doing. I enjoyed cooking, I really liked it. That's why we were looking at buying bars and restaurants and all this kind of stuff too. And if I had to go tell a guy my age right now, no overhead, no debt, no marriage, no kids, anything, you're free as the wind blows, just like I was, stay on that path.
Yeah. Don't deviate. 5 years goes by.
Don't deviate. 5 years, 10 years.
Yeah.
You're 23 and you start trucking. By the time you're 33, if you stay debt free, because this thing, when you're in your 20s, I get it, you have kind of like this idea that you got to go out and get so much done, you're in a rush. You know, you feel rushed. Yeah. You got to accomplish something before you turn 30, because by the time you turn 30, it's all over and you're old. You know, it's like, But trust me, now I'm 47, and it's like, dude, you got no idea. I was in that same rush. I was impatient. By the time I'm 27, 28, 29, oh my God, what am I gonna be? What am I gonna do? You know, I gotta be married and have kids, because by the time you're in your 30s, you're so old that, you know,
yeah.
Actually, your 20s, if I could tell anybody when they're younger, things you can do is learn to be more stoic. Stoicism is great. It's mainly for guys. Women, it's very difficult for women to be stoic, in a sense. To be, basically, if you look it up, it's like Marcus Aurelius and stuff like that, these great Stoics, philosophers in history, that you are emotionless. You are calm in the face of chaos, you know. Your thoughts are drawn out. You're not impulsive. And being in your early 20s, of course, you want to go, as soon as you start making money, you want to start go buying shit and everything. And but to be reserved, don't be impulsive, stack your money away, be calm. Your 20s is actually your chance to build an empire and still have a lot of time. Now, it's not at 47, I can't go do it too, but it's just by the time I do it, I'm going to be pushing 60.
Yeah, you could have been done.
I could have been done, out, and gone. Anybody has the ability at any age to start saving money and be smarter about what they do, to be reserved, be humble, be stoic. Don't let emotion and impulse and the logical or irrational shit get in your way. It's like a big thing to me. It's come in over the years. What are the I wants and what are the I needs? Basically, if you break it down to only what you need very little. And don't give in to the impulsiveness of, I want a new car, I want 100 pairs of sneakers. You know, especially as soon as you start making a little money, you go out and buy a new car. Well, and because I can say this now, because guess what? I lived it.
Yeah.
I've done it. But also too, the ability to control yourself and the money you make and put it away. Also, the other huge factor in that is the other people that you let into your life and what they're going to do with your resources, which for a lot of guys is going to be, once you enter a woman into your life, is she a good fit or a bad fit? Well, unfortunately, I went out on the road for a short period of time and then went back to Sacramento, found a local job hauling propane, and one of the places I delivered propane to was a trucking dock at Oak Harbor Freight Lines in Sacramento, where I met my first wife. Oh, what should I have done with that relationship? I should have just, I mean, there's so many red flags.
Yeah.
At a young age, I was stupid, and I let a woman into my life that burned me for over a decade. And I ended up in debt, homeless, and on the hook for child support. And yeah, had I avoided that woman, what a difference it would have made had you and I met at an early age, even though we would have been different people then. But if you could reflect on the kind of person I let in my life back then, experienced Tommy, you and I met, if you and I had been together back then, we would have built something great, as opposed to letting somebody destructive into your life and they take everything from you. So it has just as much to do with what you can do with yourself, saving your money, not being impulsive, being, you know, rational, logical, and reserved. Learn how to become like a gray man. The gray man is somebody that just keeps his head down, is quiet, reserved, and just keeps on a path and isn't noticed by the rest of the world. It's kind of a, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, you know, the guy you see going down the street, he just got his hood on, he doesn't make eye contact, he just goes to work, makes his money, he goes home, and nobody ever really notices him.
Yeah, he's just taking up space.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
It's like, cool, because then if you are just that, nobody ever comes after you.
Yeah.
And I would say too, for a lot of guys, don't let a woman into your life at a young age. Don't worry about getting into a relationship or getting married until much later when you're very prepared for it. You know, go and have a little bit of fun here and there, whatever. You know, have a piece of side ass, I guess, whatever. But your best bet in today's world too is probably to stay single. And this goes for women too. Women could go out and do this too. It's not like they can't either. But mostly it's dudes. Stay single. Just work. Save your money. Stay out of debt. Trucking allows you to go live in the truck. Stay on the road. Have no overhead. Pack all your money away. And then too, you look at the next stage. Say you went and did this for 5 years or 10 years. Then you got all this money. Say you want to stay in trucking. Become an owner-operator.
Yeah.
Then you got the money and the resources in the bank with no overhead
To be successful.
to be successful at it and have money in the bank that get on the way with it. So by not letting all these other factors into your life that are ultimately going to distract you and suck the blood right out of your veins, you know, I mean, if you look at divorce rates, child support, all these kind of things, divorce rate for a first-time marriage, especially when you're younger, it's like 70% of marriages fail. 80+% of second marriages fail. 90% plus of third marriages fail. I like the Bill Burr thing about marriage. You know, about the divorce rate.
What's that?
He goes, 7 out of 10 marriages fail, right? 70% of the time marriages fail. If you went skydiving and they said 70% of the time your parachute won't open, would you do it?
Oh.
No! But marriage, oh hell yeah, go ahead and jump, buddy. You know, it's like, you see what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
Save your money. Save your life. Just pack your money away. Be emotionless, be reserved, be humble, logical, rational, you know, and just make a plan and go for it. If you're going to enter people into your life, do it later after you've grown up some. Especially, like I said, a guy, if he wants to have kids, he's got time.
Yeah.
Women have a biological clock, you know. They're pumping to have kids in their 20s and early 30s and stuff. Guys, you can start having kids in your 40s if you want. And if you, I guess it's sexist or whatever, but if a dude's in his early 40s, say, but he's went out and built his empire for the past 20 years and packed all of his money away and he's well off, he can go get that chick that's still a baby maker in her 20s and have some kids. Right?
Yep.
I mean, it's true.
It's true.
His swimmers are still cool. And she's in her prime of childbirthing years to have healthy children and stuff. It's like, hey man, there you go. Or if you don't want to have kids, there's nothing wrong with that either.
Yep.
Go just be you. Invest all your money, build your own little empire, get you know, real estate investing going, buy a bunch of rental properties or something like that, apartment complexes, invest in a Roth IRA from an early age, start putting like 10-15% from the get-go in a Roth IRA and just start pounding that out and make your money and build it up. Don't go buying new cars or anything too quick. Wait until you're more settled later on when you can afford to do it reasonably. Right?
Yep.
Are you sitting over there going, God, you're such a dick. Why are you talking down marriage? God, who do you think you're with right now? Right?
Right.
So on that note, if I had to go back and tell myself, that's what I'd tell myself. Get into this. Do at least 5 years. Stuff all your money away. Live in the truck. And then you're in a position to make much better decisions. Take your time, be calm. Like I said, study up on stoicism. There's some great YouTube channels like MGTOW and stuff like that too. And just to take the advice of some of these guys that are doing well in business and everything too, because they follow these kinds of same practices and rules and groundwork for building success from the ground floor up. Take your time, don't be stupid, get with the wrong people. I mean, don't be afraid to eliminate people from your life too that are bad for you. So many people are in relationships and stuff and they just can't imagine, oh, but I love her. Yeah, you're 23 and she beats you with a shoe all the time, you know. It's like, dude, just drop it, man. But we rented this apartment together. So wait till you're married and have kids. How much worse is it going to be then?
Yeah.
That one magical shot makes you a baby one time, you know, like, oh, I wasn't planning on that. Yeah, now you're on the hook for 18 to 20 years with this psycho.
Yeah.
It's going to just extract everything out of your life. Because it happened to me. You know, like, you want to watch how vindictive women are, wait till you're getting a divorce. Or wait till they don't like you anymore and they leave you because they want some new dick. They're going to do everything they can to screw you over and leave you penniless and sitting on the gutter. You know, it's like, you want to find out the real nature of things, wait till you break up with a woman and you have a kid together and you watch how quick those daggers come out. So I'm just saying, young guys, you need to hear this shit. It's just the reality of it.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway,
Well, we have boys and we don't want none of that bad shit for them, so.
no, the same thing. Yeah, I mean, even my daughter too, you know. It's like, I feel bad, you know, because she's taking on a lot of the traits or characteristics of her mom's behavior, and it's like, I feel bad because her mom's like BPD and just crazy, and which BPD is borderline personality disorder. A psychiatrist actually said she was bipolar, but I see it more ranging in the BPD characteristic, and heavily narcissistic too, which a lot of women are. A lot of women have daddy issues. A lot of women are also highly impulsive. You know, they deal more in an I want category than what I need. You know, women like to shop. Women, you know, like think of the biggest impulsive purchase you could ever make, a car. It's a thing you could go in and do on the fly usually. In one day, you can make a huge financial decision. Is that a smart thing to do? Be more reserved. You know, like me, I've gotten a much slower filter now.
Yeah.
And that works in your favor. Be slow to make a decision, but quick to take action on it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Actually, that's one of the smartest things I think I've ever said. I mean, if you got a bomb ticking down to zero and it means cut the red or the blue wire, a quick decision may be in order. But as decisions go, marrying this woman or buying that car or whatever, I've learned over my own life lessons, make decisions slowly, but react or take action on them quickly. So once you actually narrow it down that this is the way to go, as soon as you do it, go. You know, it's like, don't stop, charge right into it. So, I don't know, maybe I'm stupid. I don't know.
No.
Maybe I'm half-tarded. Maybe I'm about half a dumb shit. I don't know. What do you say? This is the part where I learn from my mistakes over the years, stuff like that. Do as I say, not as I do. Hope all the young folks out there, I say men and women, take it as it is. Coming from my perspective, your perspective too. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. We led similar lives. You know, a lot of things that we've done.
Yeah.
Good and bad decision making, and relationships and everything.
So yeah, if I could go back to the beginning, would have been far different now. If I could have gone and talked to myself in my early 20s and laid out a game plan for him.
Like, hey, fucker.
Yeah, sit down, take a seat. Like, what are you talking about? Take a seat, trust me. Do I not look familiar right now?
I'm like, no, not really.
Not really.
You look old.
You look really old. Plus, when you're younger, take care of your health better.
Yeah.
I went out and started working 7 days a week for the past 20 years and everything, and now I got diabetes, and I could have taken better care of my health early on, which is far easier to do if you stay single and away from all these crazy people that just want to come in and extract everything out of you and stuff. By staying single and saving your money and concentrate on you and build yourself up, then things will be far better. So, right?
Right.
On that note, we'll check back.
Yep.
Out.
Out.
With turquoise and real diamonds.
Ha ha ha.